Alexander Graham Bell was born March 3rd, 1847. He was the second child of 3 sons. His dad was a speech teacher. His mom was almost totally deaf. When Bell was born, his parents did not give him a middle name. Both of Bell's brothers had middle names. Alexander wanted a middle name. His dad gave him the middle name Graham for his 11th birthday. Bell liked music and science at a young age. His mom homeschooled him until he was 10. He went to high school when he was 11 and graduated at 14. When Bell was 16 years old, he began teaching speech and music. Some of his students were younger than he was. Bell taught during the day and worked on his inventions until late in the night. He did not get much sleep. At the time, a telegraph was the fastest way to send messages. Bell wanted to invent... Wait, what was it? What last word was? His inventions until late in the night. He did not get much sleep. At the time, a telegraph was the fastest way to send messages. Bell wanted to invent a way to make voices travel by wire. He was not good at building things, though he needed someone to help him build the sketches he had for his ideas. He hired Thomas Watson. Together they tried many things and they did not work. After a year or so, on March 10th, 1876, Bell said into his machine, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Mr. Watson was working in another room and came running. He had heard him. Bell had just made the very first telephone call. A year later, Bell created Bell Telephone Company. They charged a fee to people to use phones in their homes and businesses. In 1878, Rutherford Hayes was the first president of the United States to have a phone in the White House. On Thanksgiving Day in 1875, Bell became engaged to Mabel Hubbard. They were married in 1877. Mabel was one of Bell's students. She was deaf, but she could read lips. They had 2 daughters named Elsie and Marianne. Bell finally slowed down working a little, but still worked so late that his wife put a picture of an owl on his lab where he worked to tease him. In 1915, Bell placed the first coast-to-coast call. He was in New York City. He called his assistant, Thomas Watson, in San Francisco. Once again, he said, "Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you." Bell is most famous for inventing the telephone, but he also invented the metal detector and the hydrofoil boat. It is a boat that lifts a little above the water as it speeds up. He also became the president of the National Geographic Society. He made the magazine better by adding photographs and maps from places around the world. Bell was more forward-thinking than people of his time. He supported women's rights and believed that people of all races should have equal rights. He also wrote about global warming in the early 1900s. Bell died August 2nd, 1922. He had diabetes and other health problems. During his funeral, telephone companies across North America shut down phones. It was a way to show that they would never forget him or his telephone. It was an invention that changed the world. Alexander Graham Bell was born in Edinburgh, Scotland in 1847. He created his first invention, the wheat husker, in 1858. In 1870, he moved to Canada. He taught at school for deaf people in Boston, MA, in 1871. and he makes the first phone call to his assistant in 1876. He marries Mabel Hubbard in 1877, makes the first coast-to-coast phone call in 1915, and he dies in 1922.